Hello, we're going to do section 7 of our ECDL course and it concerns the access module. We're going to do some of the following: create a quick form, we're going to design and create a new form, format a form, edit and delete it, and then get around the form and then look at how it looks when we're printing a form, one record at a time, etc. So if you come along with me, we're going to do that now. Okay, so we have our demo clubs database so that we can have a look at these different things, and you can see all the access objects are available to view. So I'm just going to drop this down and I'm going to look at forms only so you can see. So the first thing I'm going to do is open up a couple of forms. We've got our club entry form here. If I double click, and I can see in the front, I can see the navigation area, at the bottom, clicking through. I can edit it or manage it in any way. I can put a new record in just like I would a table. So it's a really good user-friendly way of displaying information for customers, etc., without breaking any data protection rules. Now, to create one of these forms, I'm just going to go in and I'm going to create one from scratch. So I'm just going to close this form. So we go into the Create tab. Remember that we use a simple form. A simple form will create a table completely as it stands. So if I just drop this down and we find tables, I'm going to create a simple form that copies exactly the club table. No change in name, no change in fields or anything else. You just literally click on the simple form and there's your club form all ready to go. Okay, so that's a simple form without having to do anything. So I just close this without saving. I'm going to save that one. And let's go on now to create a form. Let's just basically bring this down and go back to forms. Let's create a form based on a table but with a few slight details changed. So click on Create. We're going to use our form wizard, this one here. And then what we have to do is you have to click the table we want to use. So let's use the club table, but there are lots of things we can base that form on. We can also queries as well. So we're going to use the club table. Remember, the top chevron, single chevron takes them over singular. Fields, and if you want to take them all over, the double chevrons, all back. So I'm going to take over the club name, and then the session, the room number, start date, and then I think I'm going to have end date and then just hours. So I'm not taking them all, I'm going to leave those ones behind. So then next. I'm quite happy with the layout, and next. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to call it club form. And type that in there. I could capitalize it so it's exactly the same. That's there, and then finish. And you can see that club form now is here. So if we go into the back end of this club form, this is the one we've got here. See the same name. We right click and go into design view. That's one way of getting there. I'm just going to close this field list, which is this up here that was activated. And we can then manipulate things in here. So we could add something in here. Entry. So we can add the text here. We could actually drag that out so that, whoops, that's just moving it. So what we need to do is get the double-sided arrow like that and then drag it out so it accommodates the entry. We could highlight that, use the Home tab, and we could do bold, and we could change the colour to black, and we could make it a little bit bigger, you know, things like that. Okay. We could highlight all of the labels, the label side. This is the data side and these are the labels, and we could make those bold. So when we look at the front end now, let's go back again into form view and then back into design. I don't think that worked, so just do that again. Home tab, bold, and maybe black just to make it stand out. That's better, that's much more visual for you, you can see. So you can see that also if you go back in, you can move these things around. You can see that I can move that. I can make it smaller. I can make it larger for data. So there's lots of things you can do. You can do right clicks and you can do all the fill colors and all of these wonderful things that you can do with forms. One of the syllabus things that you will have to be aware of is adding a date and time. So if you click on here under the design tab, if it's a date that you're adding, then you would take out the include time. And then just OK, and you can see that it's there. So we go back to normal view, you can see that the date's been dropped in there. Okay. So forms are very, very easy. Like say, navigating them is pretty easy as well. If you need to print a form, remember there is no page layout tab in Access. If we go into the file and we look and go into the print, there is a print preview here that you would need to use for all of the different objects. Okay, so if we go into there, you can see that forms are automatically stacked on top of each other. So that's the reason that if you're asked to delete a form, that you have to select it, because otherwise it would just delete all of them. Or if you're printing as well and you wanted selected forms, you would have to select as well. Otherwise it will print everything. So we're going to come out of here, print preview, by closing there, back into our form. And then we're going to look at how you can delete and print particular parts of a form. So if you select the bar here and you go into the print area again through the file, and then if you go into the print, you get the option to do selected records here, or particular records using it like page numbers for the records themselves. So we just cancel that. The other thing you can do is if you select a record, you can delete it, or you can just select a particular record by jumping through here. Just take the bar off and go to say select record 4, and then as long as you drop down and use this version rather than the delete, it will select that record and it will warn you. The final thing to look at is looking at where you can delete the actual whole form. So you must close the whole form before you can do this. So we close it all, and then you're able to right click on any of the objects that you've got. As long as they're closed, you're able to delete and remove that object from the database. So that's forms, very, very simple. And I'm going to cover the final section next, which is reports. Okay, so if you want to come along with me. Thank you.